friends. Welcome, welcome. All right, before we begin, I just want to say, like, the life of a creator. So, one of the funny things is I've been really resistant to being called a content creator because I feel like I feel like that's like a word for like mommy influencers, right? Like just creating content to create content. And like, I feel like my content is expansions on my book and on, and on ideas for parenting. I- but I am a content creator. I spend a great deal amount of time creating content. And I think people can have a notion of this being a little more glamorous than it is. It is not. 90% of my life is finding good light. And we had the major snowstorm where I am. We got over 2 feet of snow. And then last night we just got like 4 more inches, and a model is showing a big storm coming in next weekend. So we're a little buried here. We never lost power, which was awesome because it was very light, fluffy snow, so it didn't weigh down the branches. So here in Rhode Island, we did not. Um, Lose power, which is amazing because my generator I don't have a generator that's like one with the home, that like a Generac. I have a freestanding one, and it is under snow. So I'm glad we didn't need it. But what the snow has done is create this like white haze outside for my light inside. So like I'm having to find like I literally walk around with my phone and my computer like where's good light? Where's good light? And so because otherwise I look angelic. It's like this when lights are like behind you and you get that like glow. Yeah, but I don't want to be misinterpreted to be more angelic than I am because I'm not. Mm. Okay, so one of the things and I realize I might be stepping into repetitive ground, but I want to hit this topic from so many angles because I know now as a creator that I you have to say things in many different ways for people because it doesn't always land, right? And when I say something, I assume that what I've said is clear and that you've understood it, and that's a big assumption that I should not be making, right? So, this morning, actually, I was doing my morning pages. This is, like, my routine that I do in the morning. You just write 3 pages. I write it on yellow legal pad. That's my weapon of choice, and then you just it's like, stream of consciousness. It's not journaling. I actually throw these pages away because I don't need a paper trail of what the hell is going on inside my head and my stream of consciousness, and it really, it gets the gunk out, and you should do it in the morning. This is a practice, in the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I read it in 1994 when it came out, and I've been doing these morning pages pretty much religiously, and if I don't get to them, I feel like something's missing in my day. But I also just read a study that when we look at people who don't have dementia or Alzheimer's, one of the things the researchers found, is it less to do with diet, movement, those are all important, but that these people hand wrote something every day. And in our digital world, of course, that's becoming obsolete. So I really like taking pen to paper, and all my ideas come from those morning pages, all my like content ideas, all my book ideas. And so when I write something particularly brilliant in this stream of consciousness, I will transfer it to my particularly brilliant journal. I have like 80 journals and each has like a purpose. And so, but I love taking pen to paper. And this morning I was writing and I just remembered a book that was in our apartment in San Francisco in the 90s, and it was called Chop Wood, Carry Water. And it's a Buddhist Zen principle. It's sort of a monk-like principle, right? Which is enlightenment. Before you're enlightened, you have to chop wood and carry water, right? If we think about carrying water from a well or a water source back to a home, and we have to chop wood to keep warm. And so you chop wood, carry water. And then after enlightenment, you also chop wood and carry water because chopping wood and carrying water are the necessities of life. It's the maintenance of staying warm and not and having water, right? And it doesn't matter who you are. And I think this is in line with all our great spiritual leaders throughout the year, right? They didn't achieve a level of enlightenment where they sat back and said, "Oh yeah, I don't do these things," you know? And we all have to chop wood and carry water, and it is literally making the mundane magical. Making the mundane what I call a vibe, right? And I did a reel on Instagram about a vibe, and it was a crazy hit. And I put it in the framework of, listen, if you are struggling with dinner and you are struggling, especially with a picky eater, I want you to let go of nutrition. I want you to let go of food and focusing on the food, and I want you to create a vibe around dinner, cuz dinner has to be served every fucking night. And that is right. The hardest part of adulting is what the hell is for dinner. And one of the premises in this sort of Zen philosophy is what you resist persists. We talked about that in another podcast with our kids, right? Like if we resist their like stage 5 clinging, well, you're only going to get more of it, right? But if you resist the daily tasks that keep a household running, that keep our kids healthy and alive, we are going to build resentment. Okay. And that is one of the things you guys are watching me struggle with this shift in my work in real time because I'm trying to, I know you're all struggling and I'm trying to get, and okay, I back that up. Not everybody's struggling as, as I've mentioned, right? Not every mom is struggling depending on her support system, depending on her systems in place, depending on the choices she's made for her family. So, but modern motherhood as a whole is everybody's like burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, overstimulated, and I'm really trying to get to the bottom of it in a general sense. And um and I feel like this is one of them. We are literally resisting the things that make up a life. And we know that the magical moments don't make up a life. Your trips to Disney don't make your life magical. What makes your life magical is the day to day. And we are all rushing through that and making it optimized or clinical, right? Like even if we look at dinner, you guys know how I harp on LED lights, okay? Oh my God. Okay, I have notes for this episode because I am so I don't know. I go off on these tangents. So I'm gonna circle back to my notes because I'm already going off script. But let's take dinner, okay? Dinner is one of these things, right? Chop wood, carry water. We have to do it. If we are bitter about it, that does not help, right? If we complain every day, oh my God, I can't believe I have to make dinner again. Look at your life. You're going to be eating dinner for the rest of your life. And you as an adult are in charge of that. You as a mom might be in charge of that for your family, or maybe your spouse is. Wonderful. It still has to get done. Okay. And if you enjoy it, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, yeah, you get it going on. Do you remember when I talked on a podcast about a kitchen rebellion? The heart of the home is in the kitchen, whoever's cooking. And if we're bitter about it and resentful, that's what leads to burnout, not the fact that we have to do it. The fact that we have to do it is a given. And people say, oh, well, parents have to work 2 jobs. Okay, you have to work. That is also a given. And still, you must make dinner. So, what are we going to do? We're going to strip away the things that inhibit that from being a magical experience, right? If you're rushing around getting your kid from activity to activity, is dinner a vibe? No, it's not, right? And dinner can now be so clinical, particularly if you are struggling with your kids. And especially I see this with picky eaters, right? Number one, we have these overhead lights. We have, recessed lighting. They're all LED, which signals to your body that it's noon. So they're already overstimulating at dinner time. But it also is this cool light, right? This cool light is clinical. It feels like a doctor's office. It doesn't feel warm and inviting. And I know they have warm LED lights, but it's not the same as incandescent or better yet, candlelight. Okay, now when you have toddlers, do you want real candles? Probably not, but you could if they're out of reach, right? We want to soften it. We want to make it a vibe. Are you skidding into the home life on 2 wheels and just rushing through it as this task that we have to get done so then we can get to real life? And I feel like that's the piece that we're all missing is that we're all like grasping at trying to get to a finish line as if the finish line is ever going to be there, but also as if the finish line, now we're there, now we can settle. You get to the finish line and there's still going to be laundry tomorrow and dinner's still going to have to be made tomorrow. And so, what we can do is if we take this Zen principle, right? And just the notion of it being Zen, we're all looking for some fucking Zen around here, right? Just that notion brings the hustle way down. Like we're adding hustle to our own lives instead of like, okay, this is it. These are the magical moments that thread together the fabric of your life. And if you think of a fabric, if you think of knitting or quilting or tapestry, yes, there are these beautiful pieces in it, right? Like there might be a special feature in it. But the thing that's holding the quilt together is the boring little stitches, right? The thing that makes the tapestry is the boring weave that holds maybe that one little magical thing, right? And so I just feel like there's this imaginary finish line that we're never going to get to. And so that is what's building resentment. Okay, I'm going to interrupt my podcast to talk about my classes. So, as you may or may not know, in February, I am hosting 2 live classes. One is Rant and Release, and unfortunately, that one is sold out, and Strength and Mobility. And there is still room in those for you to join us. So, this is going to be awesome. I have been talking about strength training for years, as you guys know, and I finally have something for busy moms. So, you get 7 full body 15-minute workouts. So, if you have just a little bit of time, you do one. If you have more time, you can do 2 or 3 back to back. And so that way it fits into everybody's schedule. We're only using dumbbells and I'm filming right in my small, tiny house. You do not need a lot of room. Shoot, you don't even need to wear a bra. Very exciting. You also have 3 full mobility practices, and these are also recorded. And these are going to keep you just super soft and buttery and feeling good in your body. I would die without mobility. That is what allows me at 57 to snowboard and hike mountains. I can take a fall and tumble as if I were a drunk because they never seem to get hurt because I have mobility and flexibility. So we're going to work on that. You also get 4 live classes with me. You pick a time slot on the website and we meet for 4 live classes. You do not have to be there. If you have a question, you can write it in. These will be recorded and sent to you so you can watch the replay. This is awesome. I will be able to fix your form in real time. We can talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about strength training, myths versus fiction, bro science versus real science. These will be incredible. Again, if you can't make it, it's totally okay. The videos are yours. You have access to them for as long as I'm alive, okay? And then lastly, we have a Facebook group, which again, you do not have to take part in if you don't have social media or if you don't have Facebook, but there will be that community aspect. So I hope you'll join me. You guys know how much I adore strength training, and I am so happy that I finally designed a program for busy moms, and I'm really excited about it. So go to my website or the link is in the show note. All right, now back to the podcast, right? And I know I want to be clear. The number one thing I hear from moms is, and I know this may be shocking to you guys because if you don't have it, amazing. But I have to say this, a good 70% of the people I hear from have an unsupportive spouse. A shocking amount of moms have husbands who do not believe that mental load on moms is a thing. Okay. So if you don't have that, if you have a supportive spouse right there, that's amazing. And I wish it weren't like you guys have something out of the ordinary, but I consistently get mocked or comments or emails of like, my husband does all the cooking because that's what's good and right. Yeah, I'm happy for you. The reality is though, for a lot of moms, that's not the case. So like all of the things, I keep saying this, we're being conditioned to live in our own little Wally cart here where we think our experience is everybody's experience. And I don't like it. I don't like that 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 we have also I used to get emails with Oh Crap Potty Training, the original version. It was written for moms, right? Because I had never worked with a dad. Dads asked for cheat sheets. Dads didn't want to read the book. Dads, when I wrote Oh Crap Potty Training, dads were still babysitting their kids, okay? It was one-offs. Moms were completely in control. So within my lifetime, even half my lifetime, I have watched this change, and the amount of people who would email me like raging at me because dads take part. And I was furious because I was like, congratulations. So now you're finally doing the work of parenting. And the amount of people who wanted gold stars for that and acknowledgement. And I was like, sorry, women have been carrying this load for millennia. And you now need a gold star. You need to be acknowledged that you're doing it. Like, that it would it piss me off. I did fix it in the updated version, but that's where we are, and I need you guys to know that because I hit a wide variety of people, and so you have to understand that uh, some moms have, like, 0 support even within their own home, okay? We're not even talking about a village. They just have an unsupportive partner and a low effort man, and I've been really locking into some of this on the IG algorithm where this is a thing. And what happens, I'm gonna try to get an expert on because what happens is women overfunction to m to make up for an underfunctioning husband, and it's a reality, it really happens, and again, if you don't have it, that's wonderful, but that was a little sidestep because I want you to know that some people really are dealing with different loads, but this is across the board. Again, I can't change that in your partner, I really can't. So, one of the things is, do we wanna sit and bitch about the mental load? It sucks. I know it sucks because I've been a single mom. Like, I know it sucks, but also the reality is can we find magic in those moments, magic in the mundane, right? Because this optimization, this like hustle, 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 it's not getting us anywhere. We're never going to arrive at a place where it ends. So we find meaning and purpose in the mundane. Feeding your children, like I understand how exhausting dinner is. I really do. And I do understand that sometimes you just have to eat the frozen chicken tenders. You have to eat, well, thaw them out and cook them, of course. But we have to, order out. Or I do it. Last night we ordered out from the restaurant down the street because we were both exhausted from the snow. We were shoveling and snowshoeing and trying to get Maverick out, and he was exhausted. And over 2 feet of snow is a lot of snow to manage, and we were tired, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's order out." I understand that, yeah, it does have to happen occasionally, and but can we understand that if we're resentful about it, it doesn't change it. It just changes us, and it makes us bitter, and then our nervous systems are shot, right? And when instead, if what if dinner were the thing? Right? What if we create this vibe and dinner is the thing? Like we set candles and a nice tablecloth and maybe use the fancy dishes and a wine glass, like maybe trusting our kids with some sort of glass and sparkling water, you know, making it a ritual instead of something that has to get done. And I think with everything, like how lucky are we to have our kids and have dinner time, even if we are tired. Like we're in a place in the world where other people are starving, where other people are at war. We have and this isn't toxic positivity. I don't think we should just brush over any of those things and give false gratitude. But when we start to look at our daily lives as ritual, this changes everything. It changes there's so many ways we can do this. Like even now, I'm kind of wearing this. Like if you're looking on YouTube, you can see it. If you're just listening, I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts. That's like a dressy shirt. It looks so cute on me. The color suits me. The neckline's perfect. I don't go out. I don't go out, guys. Once in a blue moon, I eat out maybe once every 3 months, and most of that is, like, ordering from a restaurant down the road, but, sometimes I'll go out with my friends. This beautiful shirt is just sitting there hanging, so I decided, I'm like, "I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear it to cook." I use an apron, and I'm gonna wear it around the house because I feel good in it, and so that's, like, a way of just making my own life magical, right? And so I just love this premise of chop wood, carry water, and maybe I'm trying to think of different ways to talk about it, like being monks in our own lives, you know what I mean? But one of the things we wanna talk about too, and this is in my notes, we just can't bypass the basics, and this goes for I talk about this in terms of strength training or feeding, like food does not have to be a recipe every night, right? The food is less important than the vibe we're setting. And that could be a kid's charcuterie board. That can be what's lovingly known as a girl dinner, right? We can create a circumstance in which the mundane has meaning. And so that's what I encourage you, because your presence is better than any outcome. And this has everything to do with putting down your phone, right? Not dividing your attention, not multitasking. The multitasking, I think I've mentioned this before. One of the things that happens to me when I'm in the car, especially in the morning, is Maverick. I'm taking Maverick to a trail, and he is he barks at wildlife. He barks his head off at wildlife, which I need him to do. I cannot have him be a non-barker. He alerts to predators. He keeps coyotes away from my chickens. So he has to bark, right? So he'll be in the car, I'll be listening to a podcast, and he will, like, see something on the side of the road, wildlife, and he'll bark like a maniac, and it's, like, right in my ear. It's the most jarring thing, right? Not unlike a toddler screaming, and I realized that what it would always be at a point in my podcast that I, like, was waiting for the next line, waiting, and I realized that I was just splitting my attention by trying to listen to a podcast in a time of day where I knew he was gonna be reactive. That's stupid. That's on me, and I would get mad at him for barking at wildlife. Like, is there anything more useless than barking than getting mad at a dog for barking at wildlife? And he doesn't know, and I'd yell at him because 'cause I'd be like, "Oh my god, it hurt my ears." And then I realized I was like, part of this is my split attention, and the attention that I was giving to the podcast when I know he's gonna be reactive. So I just shut off the podcast, and now when he's reactive, I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I could see that deer. I saw that turkey. I saw that whatever fox." And so it's that split attention, right? And so that's what our phone does, is it splits our attention. And so how can we sink into daily meaning in the mundane? And I found personally that single tasking. One of the things I did a whole podcast on this, and Cal Newport, he writes a lot of stuff about deep work. And one of the things I found is that single tasking. So if I'm doing laundry, not listening to podcasts as much, not trying to split my attention, I get more done, but also it gives my mind that chance to be idle, right? It gives me that chance to just, like, let my mind shake out a little. And the reason I say this to you is because one of the things I think about social media that is particularly damaging for moms is that we often go on social media because we only have a few minutes. We don't have a lot of time, right? To get into a book or to do an actual task. And so we get onto social media, but then we get quickly in it because it's other people. And so our attention is absorbed into that small device. And then when our kids invariably are reactive about something, we snap at them, right? And so, like, what I've been doing is finding meaning in my laundry. And I've really been, not in a goofy way, I've been trying to do a gratitude process of, like, even if I'm folding laundry, like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy I have a washer and dryer." Like, I'm so grateful for that, and just even folding it, like, taking my time folding it, like, I have clean clothes. I have an abundance of clothes. I have an abundance of towels. Like, that's so cool, and it changes me, and I know this can sound so goofy, but it really does change me, and that's what we have to do. We have to look at the things that change our state. And if your current state is overwhelmed, burnt out, it isn't just because dinner has to be made. It isn't just because you work. These things are a given, right? You come home and you're exhausted. I get it. But still, the things need to be done. And so, how can we peel away those layers, right? I think I mentioned this notion before. There's this meme that goes around, like, maybe finding yourself isn't looking for new things, it's stripping away the things that fucked you up in the first place. And I really think that's parenting, is like, what can we strip away that's fucking us up in the first place? And I'm about to record a video for Instagram giving a tour of my house. My house is like a work in progress. It's not done. And there's so much wrong. There's so much dirty. I have these cabinets under my sink that they're from 1890 when the house was built. They're beadboard. They've got the accumulation of kitchen cabinets for over 100 years. And it's been a low priority for me to fix because I'm more focused on cooking good food and creating a vibe. Like, my house carries this cool vibe, but within it are all these things that I just don't focus on. The paint is peeling. I'm pretty sure I have a water leak in a small corner. Like, there's all these things that need attending to. And I'd rather go snowboarding, and I'd rather go hike a mountain, and I'd rather have deep conversation with Pascal. And these things are more important to me than how my house looks to a stranger. I don't care. Granted, I don't entertain a lot because I live in the middle of the woods, but these are choices I make to keep myself happy. And I need you to claim your time because nobody's giving you your time. So, whatever's going to create a vibe for you, maybe it's having a nest in the middle of the afternoon and everybody grabs a book and just cozies up and reads it. Maybe that's what you do when you're a stay at home mom instead of trying to just do all the things to keep them entertained. Maybe, like, I'm such a huge proponent of when you get home from work and everybody's just trying to land, right? Maybe what the thing you need to do is that's when you utilize a family movie and everybody just snuggles up and you have some nutritious snacks on a snack board and you use that time to connect and settle into the home. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's life. And I feel like part of, again, social media, and I'm always just fucking harping on it, but it gives us this unrealistic vision. I should be doing this. My kids need to be sitting at a table. Do they? I don't fucking think so. They can have a picnic on the floor. Whatever works to get I think of your life in terms of a vibe. That's the best way I can say it because since I've changed my language around it, it has changed everything. Like in the morning, dude, I've been listening to Celtic tavern music in the morning when I pour my coffee because it makes me do like a little jig and I feel like I'm at like a little tavern, I don't know, somewhere in Ireland. And it changes my morning instead of like, oh, I'm gonna have my coffee so I could just get on with my day. I'm like, no, man, I'm on vacation. But it's a slight moment. Of course, I'm not on vacation. Of course, I got to get right to work. Of course, shit's got to be done, but it changes it for me in a lovely way. And so, what can you do? Find these things. And you have ideas, put them in the comments on Spotify. I would love to hear them because I think collectively, if we worry about the vibe we're creating instead of perfection, instead of the house has to be clean, there is never, I have let go of doing dishes and I was maniacal. Dishes have to be done at the end of the night. Dishes have to be, I like my kitchen clean. It's my space and I have completely let go of it. And you know what? Nobody died, including me. The reality is I can't, I can't achieve this perfection and trying to do it is what was driving me crazy. It was making me be angry at Pascal if he forgot to do dishes. They're fucking dishes. I have to do them every single day in rotation. There is never a moment when I don't have dishes in the sink, ever. I don't have a dishwasher. So it's just a constant flow. So if it's going to be a constant flow, then there's no hurry. I don't need to get it done because that clean kitchen is fiction. It is there for a moment and then I am not going to have it again. So I have let go of that personally. And so when I hear moms who say, no, 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 I have to, I need a clean kitchen. No, my house needs to, no, I can't have peeling paint on my windowsills. No, that's gross. I can't, dude, that's a nervous system problem. That is not a thing. No, you don't have to. Now, the, oh, I wanted to mention the water leak because, yeah, you do have to attend to a water leak. But I had an addition put on it. They sealed it up. So there was a little leak and it was only on like this one wooden part that kind of peeled my paint. It buckled my paint, but there was no damage, lasting damage done. So that is something you have to attend to. But um, the laundry, it's always, you should probably always be doing laundry. And it's that thing I've talked about. The Golden Gate Bridge is funny because they're constantly painting it. By the time they get done painting it one way, they just turn around and paint it the other way because it just has to always be done, right? And that's how I look at maintaining a house. It's always going to be done. And so if we stop thinking it's a weird thing, right? That we think, okay, I need my kitchen clean. I need it. I like to wake up and it be clean. And I totally understand that because that was my thing. But the reality is, no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. So That's something that is an anxiety in you, and that's a red flag that you are on this line of thinking, that there is a finish line, and I get it. I understand waking up to a clean kitchen, I really do. And hopefully you have a spouse who does that, or your kids do that, or, you know, you do that. It's okay, but it is a red flag in my mind that I have to. I have to because that's an self-imposed have to, and it usually means a janked up nervous system. And so I would encourage you to explore that. And what happens if it's not dirty? And what happens to you? Do you get anxious? Do you get fluttery? I used to. I used to get mad. And then I realized I'm only hurting me with this line of thinking. Yeah. Chop wood, carry water. Do dishes, carry the baby. It's not ending. So I encourage you to look at all the ways that you can do this, guys. And there's a myriad. Maybe it's music for you. Maybe it's lighting. Lighting has changed everything for me. Putting more plants for me personally, painting. I'm painting all kinds of like odd corners in my house. I'm having fun. I'm going to start like doing like pictures on Instagram about it and maybe in my newsletter. But it's really fun to for me even to find these moments where I'm like I find during the day I'm like, "Ugh, I have to, you know? Ugh, I have to." Sometimes content, I'm like, "Oh my god, I have to do a podcast. I'm late on a podcast." And then I go, "Holy shit, Jane, so many people listen to you." Like, and you get to record a podcast now in your own home. And you get to talk to people and spread ideas and have people give you feedback. Like, how fucking amazing is that? So I get out of the like, "Ugh, I have to," and I get into the gratitude and the magic. Like, this is fucking magical that I get to sit down at my computer, record something. You guys are going to listen. You're going to give me feedback. And now we're spreading joy and like good things about our kids and, ways to help our parenting. How dare I get slogged down? And obviously, everybody's gonna be in a pinch sometimes, but again, the tapestry, this is the fabric of your life. All right, that's it. Chop wood, carry water. However you can get to this Zen mindset, I think it's just worth noticing during your day. How am I popping out of it? How can I sink into whatever's going on for my kid? How can I sink into whatever I'm resisting? Because what you resist, this is a universal principle. What you resist persists. So whatever you find yourself like complaining about, it's not going anywhere. So how can you turn it around for yourself? All right. I'm going to leave you with that. As always, put your phone down, rock on, have a beautiful day. I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Love you. Bye.